Everybody, Gerone Wright here again with another video. And in this video, I'm going to touch base on. I know that you hear me talking a lot about cross-referencing, and I'm stating that the cross represents the cross-reference of genetics, and Jesus is being commemorated symbolically in a cult-like ritual way, well, pagan worship like way, as being cross-referenced, and his genetics utilized in his journeys, um, and even saved in his death, and utilized to contaminate many nations and many places. And there is a large scale reference of this in a lot of the Renaissance artists' artworks, and it shows how it was done and which direction that his genetics actually took off. And I guess later on sometime when I have much more help and a team of experts working with me, because it's definitely sure to come, I'll be able to bring back to you the true journey and purposes of Jesus, and in which direction his genetics went, and what we can expect from the contamination, the historical contamination of which it actually happened and occurred. This is also my findings with through my discoveries of my paranormal experience and encounter with that of Noah and many others, Abraham, um, and the list just goes on and on and on, people, on and on and on. It doesn't stop. Um, this is it's like a never-ending nightmare story. You know what I mean? Because you're led to believe that good is good and evil is evil, but it's this. What I'm showing you is showing you that everything is totally opposite and contradicts everything that we were actually taught. And our cause for existence is not what you actually think it is. And I mean, you see me do a lot of things with dealing with Christianity and and religion and all, but people, this attaches everything. I don't care who you are or what part of this globe that you are from. It is all referencing and symbolic of everything. This is what our existence and our cause is all about. And it's just being done and worshipped in a different way. But when it's all said and done, people, all this is all about our existence. It's a little bit much more to it and that, more complex. But the main purpose of it is that is this securing of bloodlines and genetics and altering of same and manipulation. And it's been going on since the beginning. Um, I have traced the roots of this before anything you could possibly even imagine. I know how it was first started, who done it, and I mean these records go back beyond those that are on our planet. I can show you, I can demonstrate to you how it was done and where we came from. I mean, from apes to where apes came from, and how they were genetically became. Um, it's just, I mean, people, it just goes on and on and on. And again, I state that I am not the best narrator to actually to bring this to you. I would imagine that I'm getting a little better as I go along, but still, um, to put scientific backing and factual findings behind this would actually lend to giving us a far greater and better idea as to what's going on. I do try to get my point across to the best of my ability and show you, but I notice though when I bring up images like this of Jesus and Christianity that my views are not high on this, but I keep bringing these up in hopes of getting through to you that your fear of this stuff, of God and of devils and for all good reason, your fear of this keeps you and precludes you from seeing the truth. And my lack there fear of um, the historical presence of Jesus, um, and religion and God and demons and devils is what allows me to see the truth and see through this to bring you the truth. Okay, I mean, there's no better way to put it there. I always said, and it's been before I even knew about this stuff, people, that I mean, don't get me wrong, I believe in higher powers as well too. Just as you do. It's because it's instinctively with us, and because I come to find that there are higher powers, and I have shown them to you in some of my videos here. In fact, I know where our higher powers come from. Um, and I mean, it's not just here. I've made amazing discoveries in space, thanks to NASA Hubble telescope images that actually are provided online. So if you haven't seen my videos on that, you have to actually see that. I made some amazing discoveries in space, and I mean, and it's just undeniable, which I'll get back to later there. But anyway, people, my thing about this is that I mean, this is truly bizarre. You know what I mean? And some time ago, I felt instinctively that I lost all faith in everything, and I lost my fear along the way of anything demonic or anything so-called divine. And in that, when I lost my fear of that, other things started coming to me, paranormal experiences and encounters, and just so much has happened to me over the years. And as I reflect back, this has been with me for some time, and I just didn't realize it. Um, I'm understanding it as it goes along more and more every day. I keep showing you these images and defining these images for you to let you know that, I mean, what you believe in is not true. It's not factual. This stuff that you believe in, people, is a delusion. And how I was able to break away from it, first of all, first and foremost, because I feel deep in my heart that if there was a God that, I mean, a good God, my idea of a good God, and I'm not going to go into and hammering your way at this. My idea of a good God is a God that doesn't bring on death, or a God that doesn't take. I mean, you do as good as possible. Don't bring you harm. Don't take away your loved ones. A God that doesn't punish you for not worshiping him or her. You know what I mean? I mean, people. I mean, in my mind, that's a tyrant. I mean, that is evil in itself. I mean, if you are a God of power, I mean, if I was God, I mean, you would not have to be on a planet where you would not know if you're going to wake up the next day or not, in the middle of an ocean somewhere because our world flooded, or because a meteorite hit it and destroyed it, and or I mean, and the other many list of calamities are if the earth opened up and we were swallowed by a massive earthquake. I mean, people, I mean, this is not my idea of a God, and there's no justification for it. I mean, come on, I have to worship you in order for me to, I mean, in order for me to live on? I mean, that's BS to me, people. And I don't care if the skies opened up or if there was an interruption of this video and God appeared on the screen. Look, you and call me, look, you dummy. I do exist. What the hell are you doing? I mean, I would just simply reply back to him, or if the demonic figure say, look, all right, enough is enough. It's time for you to go, and snatch me up and put me before them and say, hey, look, you dummy, you're going to start worshiping us or else. You know, at this point in my life and all, I'd be like, well, or else what? You're going to do me worse, far greater than what, I mean, I have already experienced and lived in this hell of a world that we're living in? You know what I mean? Or what? I have to go into another nightmare of worshiping you for all eternity? To hell with that. I want none of the above. The fact of the matter is that I know the truth and I learned the truth. And You can control your destiny. I found out that not only here, that also there's a journey through space. Nothing is destroyed. Okay, just in the physical sense that of us being of what we are, but our informations can go on and journey on. People like to give you an idea, people like Jesus knew this. Um, then later Renaissance artists are mentioned this, like Da Vinci, Michelangelo. Later on, Salvador Dali. Um, and I even found it, and I'm going to do a video maybe later on this week about George Washington. Even George Washington has this higher knowledge to know how they can secure their place, and not only in the future in our world as it is, but also in space. And through these, I guess you want to call it celestial alien knowledge, this is why you see these bizarre paintings by Michelangelo, Da Vinci, even in the dome in Washington of George Washington sitting as a god amongst clouds with a bunch of people on opposite ends. You know what I mean? These people had a sense of awareness of where we came from and what was going on. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on and on. I have a cross up here, and I have Jesus at the center of the cross. This is an older image. And I want to show you something. These stones down here at the cross represents the founding stones of our genetics at the base. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up another image and I'm going to explain more, because in other images you'll see a skull down here, or you will see a sarcophagus down here. I mean, this is the base. It shows you the cause for the creation of everything else to come. It's the founding stone. That's what it represents. And it shows you that the founding stone was cross-referenced. I'm going to bring this up real quick to show you what I'm actually meaning here, to give you a better idea. Like here, you see the skull down at the bottom? It shows you what was left behind. That's dead, and Jesus was risen from that cross. From that cross reference, which represents our ancient genetics, our ancient ancestors, meaning apes. I'm not going to go before that, even though I know before that. I'm not going to go before that, but there is something that is before that. But I'm going to hold up on that until at a later time when I'm actually, I guess, rich and famous, let's say. All right, but anyway, apes, black people, African Americans. I mean, not African Americans, Africans. Well, African Americans too, by the way, but I'm not at this time, at this point. But the evolution of our founding stones, right here, that's what that represents, came these people. Now it shows you how Jesus was cross-referenced with this. Comes up at the head of the cross. There is Jesus right there. Now he's at a table setting, like if he's breaking bread and wine. Okay, but this is actually a cross-reference of these people that are on either side. What is being cross-referenced? Notice the loaf of bread is here, which is Jesus is handing out on this side, and the wine is here, which it shows Jesus is passing out on this side. Now, let me make sense of this for you. This is the reason why the bread is on this side and the wine is on this side. Now you will see this in a lot of Renaissance artists artworks, and I'm going to do another video about the true meaning of wine. The true meaning of wine, if you look at these Renaissance artists artworks, I'm going to do another video probably following this one, which breaks down the true meaning of wine, which is being referenced in, like the goddesses of wine and all of that, that's being referenced in Renaissance art. I'm going to do a video on that to give you a better understanding of why wine is being utilized and why there are gods of wine, because it actually represents blood. Jesus shows you that he is passing out his blood to this side. Okay? Here, 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 and here. On this side. And the bread represents the other genetic of Jesus, his semen, to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Showing you that he's being cross-referenced with everything that you see here. The bread is his semen. The wine is his blood. He's being split, genetically bridged, cross-referenced, and he's already cross-referenced with our ancient ancestors' genetics, and now he's splitting them across the table and sharing them with these people. Now, I want to show you something else, and I'm going to explain this more of how this is going to make more sense in the long run here. Notice that some of these men at the table, well, this man here and this man here, are shown donning breasts, which represents the female genetics on both sides. On this side here, after that man right there, breast, and the same thing Leonardo da Vinci captures in some of his artwork of the Last Supper. And actually right here, you'll see breast, which represents the presence of female without actually putting a female there, making a male look like a female, which Michelangelo does in a lot of his Sistine Chapel art, okay, making the male and the female presence there, but not genetically, but not in the physical sense of where we can recognize it. But those that know the code of this stuff know exactly what it is. Now, how do I know that this represents semen, and how do I know that this wine represents blood? Because these images and these decodings that I am making can be traced back. Now, this is an older image, but you can take this and run it back and make sense of it, which I'm actually going to do here. Let's take a, here's the same scenario, Jesus on the cross that I had just had up. Let's bring that up some to here. Notice that, okay, there you go. Notice that Jesus is letting blood, well, the nail shows blood pouring out of his hands on either side. You see that? Then, representing his blood, his DNA. Then, here, there's a shape of a penis, balls, and there's the actual penis right there created into his abdomen. You see that? And it shows the tasseling, which I actually know represents a reptilian bloodline. Okay? Now, you can Google these images, people, and especially earlier on. Now, there's other different styles and mentionings of how, and encryptions of how you can actually see this. But when you start looking back now, it starts making sense that he was genetically bridged. I even know what the halo up here represents. Okay, which I'm not going to share at this time. Now, you see Jesus hanging at the cross. Now, I'm going to show you Jesus hanging at another cross, because I'm doing this is I'm going to revisit my Nervy Hall image, which I've actually shown you before. That's let me take these down and put this one up. My Nervy Hall image here, where here's an image of Jesus there. This is my Nervy Hall image in a mass. This is supposed to be a Jesus rising from a nuclear explosion or so, so according to the artist there. Nervy Hall is actually created. The name is Nervy Hall is after the creator of the Hall, Nervy, and this image is actually a sculpture by Finzinzi or Finzinzi, whatever. Now, I've shown you the video on this, but I just want to give you an idea that Jesus is being hung here and shown cross-reference. There's a bunch of reptilians and everything else up in there. My first findings on that, when I first saw, is this. Jesus, hold on. This is what I first saw. This is the body right here that Jesus is hanging from. And I first seen this, like a reptilian head of a dinosaur. there, the body, in that exploding mass that Jesus is actually hanging from. And then in the other, where we at here? Is this upside down, right? Yeah. I started seeing heads of dinosaurs. There's a female there, and other masses. Now, this was my primary drawing. However, as I studied the image, this is the same image here, people, I began to see the image more clearly. You see that? All I did was take that image and spun it around, which you can Google and do now, thanks to me. Hold on. Let me take this down so you can actually see this. And this is the true form of this in the true meaning. This is Nervy Hall, people. You see that? Look at that mass. This is the face of a snake. There's the eye, an open mouth, teeth, and the jawline, the snout, nose, nostril, and come out, and it shows that Jesus emerged from the body of the snake, which represents reptile and reptilian. And this is what it looks like, people, highlighted. You see that? Now, take it down again. Now, there's other stuff there too, people. Now, I have a bunch of other stuff that is also highlighted, but what's more disturbing about all of this is that there is a seated pope right there. Okay? And then there's the head of a reptilian-like ape right here. And I'm going to bring that in so you can actually see that real good. Let me bring that up. And do I have my reptilian ape? Oh yeah, there you go, right there. I wonder if I have that highlighted for you to already see. Possibly not. I don't have it, but anyway, there is a reptilian ape. And I'm going to show you right here. You can see my other video. I don't want to keep going back to this. Let me see if I can get this over, and I'll show that to you right quick. Well, because I got time on this video. Right. Where are we at? Oh, over here? It's over here. That's the right eye socket. Is that the... Yeah, hold on. That's the left eye socket, and that's the right eye socket. Left eye socket. The cranial. There's a nostril there. Okay, can I bring that in closer? Do I have a better image of that? Let me see if I can bring that in closer for you, so you can get a better idea. I thought I had that highlighted. Where we at here? There's the ape right there, people. You see that? You see that ape there? Oh. This is a better image. Oh, this is gonna suck. All right, there's a nostril there. There's a nostril there. There's an eye socket. There's an eye socket. There's the head. And you can Google this image yourself, people, and look. And it has a genetic linking chain in its mouth, and it's shown that the chain is broke in the ape's mouth there. Let me see if I can bring that closer there. Yeah, I can get closer. There you go. There you go, people, right there. This is an ape, and it has a genetic linking chain. There's the linking chain right there. And then off to the side, there's another link where it actually, and it shows it's broken. And yes, I do know what is linking on this side, and I do know what is on that side. And it shows that the ape, which is a reptilian ape, was genetically bridged, and it shows you the broken link, and it shows you where these genetics took off in both directions. And I know what it actually means. Look at the nostril of the ape there. That's the left nostril, and here's the right nostril over top of the right eye, and there's the right eye socket, and there's the left eye socket, and there's the left nose nostril right there, and this is over top of the top lip area of the ape. Okay, this is the cranial up in here over top of the eyes. All right, and it shows you how we genetically became. Oh, by the way, here, look in the snake's mouth. There is a, is it better in this one or no? No, it's not. I have this all highlighted too, by the way, people. I'm not going to go. There is a genetic in the snake's mouth, you will see that there's a mask. There's a worm in the snake's mouth, and I have that highlighted. There's a head right there. Okay, that's turned back. The snake and shows you how the worm, how these genetics. I'm upside down, people. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of this video. Shows you how this worm is taken. And you see the ape right here? Shows how it spins around. There's the. Wait, hold on. Here's the ape. Comes off the ape. Shows a worm snaking around, bit by the snake's mouth, and comes around and goes down and comes up, and there's a head on there, and a head in the face. And I have that in my other video. But anyway, I'm going to leave that alone because this is not what this is about. This is about showing you what the cross means, the true meaning of the cross. The Last Supper with Leonardo da Vinci, which I have, I'm going to show you right there. It shows you the semen and the blood of Jesus being shared genetically with others. And that's what that's all about, people. Now, since I have brought up Da Vinci, and I have him right here with the Last Supper, right there. I'm going to let that. Let me put this up here. His Last Supper is right here. Now, I'm going to show you. This is the same thing, people. Jesus shown at the center, and at either sides being cross-referenced. And it shows you, and I told you before, that each one of these, beginning from Bartholomew, going through over through Simon, and the rest of Judas and them at the table, I'm just going to show you real quick how Bartholomew is wearing the skin or the hide of that of a reptilian. And you can see my video on this, people, because in that hide you will see the many faces, one of which is an ape, and there's also a great white shark that is there, and then there's the face of an ape right there. And then as the hides go over, you will see these genetics going in both directions, going in and coming back out. There's another image of an ape showing after the bloodline was altered. And at Judas right here, in his sleeve, which is multi-colored, there's a green portion. It shows the head of a reptilian, which is a dinosaur-like creature. Okay, and there's a witch-like woman that's in there, showing you that these genetics. And I mean, you can. I have a video on this, people. You can actually. Let me see if I can bring that in closer for you. You'll see the head of a dinosaur in Judas's clothes. If you look closely at it now that I show you, and this person is supposed to be Mary Magdalene, is shown with a pig hide over here on her sleeve. Now, come over here to who I believe, I don't know if this is Simon or whatever, but anyway, here. I'm going to call him Simon from now on. If I'm wrong, I can stand corrected. Okay, I usually have who's who at the table, and I can call their names. But here, there's the whale's hide being worn over the sleeve there of who I believe to be Simon. I might be wrong though. Okay, but there's a whale's hide. And people, what's happening here is that these. Come on. Okay. They're showing us how mankind was genetically created, and Leonardo da Vinci did this in the 14th century. The 14th century, and I can read this and tell you which each creature contributed genetically to us, and this is showing the blood and the semen side, again, of Jesus. And it shows how we were genetically created, and how these ancestral creatures contributed to creating our likenesses, and then shows how Jesus was genetically cross-referenced at the middle, and these genetics were brought together and then redistributed again, as shown here. And you probably say, well, why would they put the penis there? and in his abdomen. Well, I have found through Renaissance artist artwork that the penis is symbolic with showing that how genetics are actually redistributed. It's an easy way of just showing the penis, and if you know what the representation of Jesus is, then you know that, okay, well, he's giving out his semen. Because his semen is genetically changed, and it's showing you the directions that it's going in. Same thing with his blood. That's how they referenced it. Genetics. They didn't have that. Well, I mean, and they could encrypt it that way too. But it's almost like you going to the doctor and getting your genetic or DNA chart. This is what this was all about, and this is why they showed these. This is the same thing as the Last Supper here with Leonardo da Vinci. And I don't care who painted it, what Renaissance artist did it. It all says the same thing, maybe being read a little differently, but it's all symbolic of the same exact message. Shows you how these genetics were broken down and altered and changed from that of their original state of our black ancestors and our ape ancestors. Alright, people, this is my Geronification channel. My name is Gerone Wright, and I ask that you share my videos. I hope that you're not upset and not mad, because this, people, is knowing the truth and who you are. There's a real peace of mind and serenity in that. Nothing to be quite afraid of, because once you understand why you really exist in our world, and period, in all of existence, there's a better feeling than that than what they were trying to give you through this stuff here. And it's not nothing evil. It's just a part of being part of everything that is in existence. And believe me when I tell you that it is far more greater than anything in religion. And it's like a reawakening of yourself, because anything and everything that you need to know is within yourself. I will grant it that what religion has done for us and globally is it gave us a sense of inhabitants that, I mean, where we're morally correct, and the good from bad factor. I mean, these were all good things in so much as far as it's happening, but I mean, but as far as everything else about you dying and divinity and your loved ones and all of that, people, I mean, it's a horror story, and I can show you where it goes totally bad. You know what I mean? It's a horror story, and I mean, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what you need and what you don't need, but I'm going to tell you something that you really have nothing else but yourself to believe in, because all of this stuff here I'm taking away from you. You know what I mean? Because seeing my videos and seeing how I can pick this stuff apart, I mean, I know that, I mean, common sense is that you're not gonna believe in this stuff, because I can take it apart. You know what I mean? Yeah, from every image, from the earliest through to current. I mean, the founding stones of this stuff, I'm just gonna blow them over like a bulldozer. I'm just gonna push this stuff over, and I mean, and that's it. I mean, I mean, I'd rather not see so many masses of people suffer from the lies of this stuff. And I mean, it's in you to understand who you truly are and still be okay. Trust me, because I have done it long ago, and I'm still here, and I'm bringing you this reality check. Okay, so my name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. Oh, let me say this before I go. Okay, I'm gonna take this video to 35 minutes. Now, at the Vatican, they're giving that communion. I'm accusing the Vatican of being a cross-referencing center. Okay, and it is in my strongest of beliefs that when you're giving communion, that piece of bread, that small piece of bread that they watch go from that communion cup into your mouth, and I mean, they almost watch you. I mean, if you think about it, they have their eyes glued to your mouth and watch that thing go in your mouth, and make sure they quickly give you a glass of wine, which I believe could possibly be tainted with blood, and that piece of communion bread with semen in your mouth, and watch that stuff go down. I'm suggesting that you are being given genetics that are cooked up in a cauldron, flash cut like way, and these genetics are being redistributed, and you're being genetically altered by receiving communion. When that communion is put in your mouth, what do they say? The body of Jesus, which the only body that could be genetically would be his semen, which I'm just showing you here, and the blood of Jesus, and through that wine. So therefore, the wine is the blood of Jesus, which has been procured through all of these years. All right, I'm out with that. I'm going to leave you with that thought. My name is Gerone Wright. Please share my videos. Thank you.